All
Hey,
right,
Scream.
everybody. My intro, my show. I'm kidding. Just go for it.
Hey, Scream. How you doing? It's me, the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
And me, Nicolero. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast, where today we're tackling a fun one. Our top 10 movies set in schools. Now, schools and movies can be everything. They can be hilarious. They can be dramatic. They can be nostalgic. They can even be magical or scary, as is the case with the recent movie Weapons, which is what gave us the idea to do this particular podcast. Because
Well, between that and the month that we're in.
kids going back to school, you say. Good shout, actually. But yeah, since AJ and I definitely survived our own school days, barely, I would argue, we thought we'd put together our definitive list of the greatest school movies ever made. And of course, being a top 10 podcast, all things being incredibly subjective, controversial, and there will undoubtedly be the whole why the F did you not include this movie, which is what these lists are all about.
Fun fact, I was talking to a lady recently, and I was like, if you have any to put out to me, put some out. And she put some out, and I was like, oh, thank you very much. But in the same breath, I met up later on, and I was like, this is my list thus far of films. And she's like, but there's so many more. I was like, exactly. And guess what? I still need to condense this down to 10. And it's like, how? I'm like, that's the challenge of what we do. That is the challenge of what we do. It's not easy, but we proceed.
Without giving names away, AJ, and going more into the kind of genres, because obviously movie set in the school is a very, very niche subgenre. Without giving names away, especially if they may come up on your list, what kind of school movies did you love growing up? Were you like more into the comedies, the sports dramas?
For this list? So for this list, or did I enjoy previously in life? Did you say?
No, like when we were at school, what were the kind of school movies you enjoyed? Was it like?
I think off the dome, I would most definitely say comedy, but I do also remember one film that I saw set in a school in my later teens, but still being at school, well, mid-teens, should I say, that had me like, oh, I love this, and that was
Did it make your list? Is it on your top 10? Okay.
Yes, it did. That was that, and then, but it has been like more. It's more very light-hearted. There was another one that I wanted that had a touch of horror again to it, but it became my number 11. It became my number 11. But here's the thing: we say off-brand, but that teen slasher zone has been my kind of realm of what I would deal with in horror. It never.
Oh, actually, true. God damn, you better not.
It never really struck me as the go-to. So I know it's not going to make your list. I'm not talking Scream when I say that. There's one that I think you've got a little soft spot for. It's not on my list. As I said, it became my 11. I won't say what it was as I can mention it as an honourable should it not come up. But that was the honourable. I actually forgot about those ones, if I'm honest. The Screams and the I Know What You Did and all of that. There was one
based on the way you're describing them, you could even make an argument for American History X at this point. Part of it is set in the school.
Yeah, that is a bloody good shout.
I don't think enough of it is set in the school to justify being on this list, but yeah. I've got him thinking, look. He's like, could I reshuffle my list to make room for American History X?
No, I'm not actually. No, so I just had a weird message come through on my thing, but no. Do you know what? I would leave it be. It's based. Here's the thing: American History X doesn't exist if you don't put the school project into it, which makes it very valid to be a school movie. But no, I can't put it on. Oh God. No.
He wanted so much, though.
It was hard enough putting this list together that I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with them in the order that they
are. All right, guys, let's get into it then.
Before we do, would you like to tell everyone how the show works?
Yes, for those of you watching for the first time, what is the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast? Or at least here's how the show works. It's a top 10 show between two best friends going back, ironically, to our school years. We're now you are 40, I'm nearly 40. So it's been a moment. Been a
Yeah.
moment we've been friends, bro. God damn. Salute to you, mon ami. Salute. While I drink my whiskey. Oh, couldn't afford that when I was at school. Good whiskey. Okay, here's how the show breaks down. We pick a topic, we go our separate ways, so we never know what the other person's selection is. We compile our top 10 lists and we come back right here into our video and deliver to you live without ever knowing what the other person's picked. We deliver to you live our individual top 10 picks. This month, I will go first, delivering my bottom three. AJ will then deliver his bottom three. I will then deliver my next two. AJ will deliver his next two. Then, when we get to our top five, we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are rounding off our individual top 10 lists, one person has a movie in a high position, that person will say,
Punt.
and we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the higher position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will attempt to create the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the four quintessential diverse must-see movies of this genre, or in this case, subgenre, which, in the voice of the dearly departed Matthew Perry playing Chandler Bing, is...
No, that should have been the movie Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. See, that's the whiskey
But
doing
the
it.
topic is we branded it Back to School. But again, it's back to school because of it being September, but it can be a school. It's any form of education, guys. So if you're like, but that's a university, that's not a school. All right,
It's an educational establishment. Suck a fat one.
That's the one. There we go.
Let's talk about the movies, not
Big up
about
that
how
man
pedantic. How about pedantic we want our title to be? You saw school, you clicked on the video. Job done.
There we are. Okay, sir. It feels weird, but yes, you're number 10.
My number 10. Now, it's a real underappreciated one, this. And I've brought it up previously. I've always had a major soft spot for this. Kirsten Dunst and Eliza Dushku in Bring It On, a cheerleader movie set in school, obviously, because that's where cheerleaders are formed. Fun fact, Leia has actually just started doing cheerleading. She's in her third week now. And, bro, it's competitive as anything. This ain't like pom-poms, Super Bowl halftime with the pom-pom girls. This is like insane level gymnastics. My daughter's 3.5, and the things they're asking her to do, I'm like, she can't do that. She pulled up a freaking handstand into a forward roll today. I was like, I can't do that. She's 3, and they've got her doing that. God damn, it's amazing. And on the note of stunts or choreography and cheerleading and all that, fun fact: did you know the cast for this movie actually didn't really have stunt doubles? It was Kirsten Dunst and Eliza Dushku who were doing the cheerleading. So when you're seeing like Eliza Dushku do that crazy round-off somersault backflip, that's actually her doing it. Like they did months and months and months of cheerleading practice, which when I found that out, I was like, whoa, mind blown, like respect. Like talk about some physical method acting. That's cool as anything. But what the premise of this movie is that Kirsten Dunst inherits this very successful cheerleader team. Like the head of the cheerleader team retires, moves on, graduates, whatever. Kirsten Dunst inherits the team as the kind of vice captain, and the assumption is she's going to take it on to continued glory. They basically clean up in cheerleader contests every single year. Turns out that all of the routines they've been winning with have been stolen from a, what's the appropriate word here? Minority, underprivileged. They've been stolen from an underprivileged school. And when they recruit Eliza Dushku into their cheerleader team to expand the team, Eliza Dushku sees the routines they're doing, and she's like, I'm not about stealing other people's routines. And Kirsten Dunst is like, what? What are you on about? Our routines are ours. And she's like, follow me. And she takes her to the school, which sets up the big rivalry between this. It's effectively Kirsten Dunst is kind of the blameless criminal in this, because she wasn't aware that the routines were being stolen, but she's inherited effectively a poison chalice. And so she takes the stance of, I don't want to steal another school's routines. I want to do our own thing, which is not something this team is used to doing because they've always had pre-made routines stolen from the underprivileged school. Plot twist, that underprivileged school, which has always been criminally underfunded, the reason that Dunst's team, which is called the Rancho Carne Toros, I believe, have been able to get away with stealing is because the underprivileged school have never had the funding to compete at national level. Plot twist, this year they got the funding. So there's even more emphasis on Kirsten Dunst to be able to create a choreography that slaps and that's original. And when you see what they put themselves through and you get past the fact that this ain't pom-poms, this is mad levels of athleticism these guys are doing. I am not the target demographic for cheerleading, but this movie gets its claws on in me and it always pulls me in.
It's a weird one that I think I've taken it, but I have seen it, but it always kind of escapes me. It was even brought up when I was talking to my friend and she mentioned it. She was like, bring it on. I was like, I know Nick has a soft spot for it. I do need to give it another shot, but I just didn't. Truth be told, I just didn't. And yeah.
I often find myself asking, like, did I expect to enjoy this? Absolutely not. Especially when you look at like the original trailers and stuff. It's like this did not look like the sort of movie that would appeal to, at the time, someone in their late teens. It's like, no, not even. Jesus, early to mid-teens. And it's like, no, I'm definitely not the target demo for that. And yet I loved it. And then so to build on that question, is this movie underrated? Kind of, yeah. Underrated and underappreciated because not enough people have seen it. And damn,
it's mad though, because it does have a good few sequels.
About it.
It's mad because it does have some few sequels, but it's still kind of like a weird franchise. It is very niche. I'll give you that.
It's very, and it wasn't at the time. I remember it being quite a big hit. I don't know. Well, da bang. I don't know if I'd go.
I just saw my hair like raised up, and it was doing my head in, and I don't know why it's doing
it. Sorry for those of you listening on pod. AJ just did a headbang with his locks. Yeah, I don't know if I would ever go as far as to call this like a cultural phenomenon. I don't know even if I were to call this a box office mega success, but I remember this movie being successful.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I don't remember anyone panning it critically or being like, "No, avoid like the plague." Like the few in the UK, at least, because again, cheating not a UK thing really. But for those who saw it, were like, actually, it's pretty good, weirdly good. Yeah. It kicks off the list because it's like it's fun, but especially because of what we've just talked about, the way it's aged, not having enough of a generational hit. I don't think it's got enough iconicity to be higher on my list, even though I really like this movie. So it comes in at 10 for me. But from cheerleading pyramids to undercover cops, high school really does give you anything, right? So my number 9, I'm going to go 21 Jump Street.
21. Yes, I enjoyed both. I think
is 22 on your list. Is it a punt? We can punt
the
franchise.
No, okay. No.
I think 21's the better movie. 22 has that moment.
22 has two moments for me. It's that, and it's that, and it's following that where he just loses his crap at the table when they go for the lunch, and he's just throwing stuff like Ice Cube has just gone nuclear.
I'm a black man. Give me my damn greens. Give me my pork chop. That's great. But it's Channing Tatum dancing around their glass cubicle in absolute elation. Bro, I wish Channing Tatum did more comedies. He has got such good comedic chops.
Yeah, he does. Indeed.
He's an underrated comedic actor, that one. Yeah. I mean, I've got the story of two cops who have to masquerade going back to school. And it's interesting because it's like a big part of high school for you guys in America, or college for us here in the UK, which I appreciate in America is probably university. But a big part of it, no matter what age you're in, it's like finding your place where you're kind of safe, or as safe as you can be, right? It's fitting in essentially.
Do you know what I love about 21? Is the cultural shift.
Yeah.
Like you see the shift in what is cool.
Single strap, double strap, right?
Yeah, you're two strapping. What do you mean? Like that's what you're doing. He's there, and like the guy who was the man in their actual school days is the idiot this time round. The stuff that we would say as a casual thing is now become a huge slur, and it's like, oh my days! It's how much the world has changed.
Yeah.
And how the impact it has to still be that person. It's
and
insane.
21 Jump Street brings that right to the front in roaring success. And actually, it's not Slim Shady, who turns out to be the guy who's more accepted by his peers, even though they're kind of not his peers. And the guy who you think's got the, the traditionally good looks, even though I don't think Channing Tatum's particularly good looking. A lot of women love him, and I get that. He's got a body to die for and all that. But yeah, the guy who's traditionally considered aesthetically pleasing, the guy who is clearly the sports athlete, which all comes full circle in the sequel, of course. But yeah, it's not that guy who becomes the big cheese when they return. I want to pose this question to you. Let's have some fun with this. Would you survive high school if you went back again? How do you think we'd be received now? Because by modern standards, you and me are what one would call, I know it's a dirty word, but if we were to put a label on it, one would call us woke.
But here's the thing. I say this, and
I don't think we're woke enough for modern high school.
But this is the thing. I'm very much of the nature of I'm accepting and open to a lot of stuff, but I'm also aware I have caveman views. Right, I know this.
Talk about trans athletes, AJ. Do it.
No,
do it now.
It's these certain things where the mistakes that Channing made are the mistakes I could easily like. I'm in this weird position of life because in the workplace that I'm in, it's not uncommon for me to talk to 19-year-olds. Do you understand? And it's not to say that I'm not one.
Careful where we're going with this, AJ.
No, I'm saying it's not uncommon that I can sit back and laugh with them, So do I think I can fit in? Yes. But could I be way too edgy for them? I believe so. Like I was bad back then, This is what scares me is that I was bad back then. I'm an HR case now.
Shit talker Skywalker.
I live by it. But I honestly
I was on the receiving end of it recently. Check out Burning Heart. God damn. You probably got me to break character twice. I was like, I can't maintain being a babyface here. This is just funny. I must laugh. Like
I brought back a monster who's been asleep for a long time. That was the
put him back to sleep, please.
He's asleep. Yeah.
God willing. Next time, I'm the heel. Anyway,
I'm willing to do that. And I'd be like, I've realized the errors of my ways, and I could be Mr. AJ again. And, yeah, just change the music. By the way, Numb Encore. Think about it.
It's
yeah.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Encore. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 days later. I was like, "That's the one. That is the one."
Encore might be it,
Yeah, I think it is. But anyway, if you know, you know. If you don't,
no, you know. And if you don't follow Burning Heart on Instagram, Lauren, shout out to you, love.
Indeed. Yeah, so I can be a walking HR case. That is the truth of it. I'm aware of it. I don't know if I could survive, but. I don't like to say chameleon. I could be adaptive. I'm aware I could be adaptive, but I would scratch my head at some of the stuff that goes on nowadays.
Yeah. So, would we survive? I don't know. I'd be in trouble, which is ironic because back in the day, you were far worse than I was. My, has that pendulum shifted? You're
21 Jump
much
Street, bro.
better diplomat than I am now. That's the difference. See, that's the difference between being employed and being self-employed. Self-employed, you go back into the employee world and you're like, oh, I can't say what I want anymore. Damn. Do you know what? Someone said that to me recently. I can't remember what I said, but it was some outlandish shit. They went, you're a freelancer, aren't you? I went, yes. Why? They went, yeah. I found what you just said funny. 3 people just didn't, and you didn't even realize. I was like, sorry.
I was talking to my florist today. He came to deliver flowers at work, and we was just talking about the stuff at work. It's him and his wife. That's it. Self-employed couple doing their thing. The turnover's high enough. He has to have a modern slavery policy, and it's like, we are just 2 people. We've never hired another person in our life. What am I writing about? Yes, but you're making this amount. You've got to write it. Okay. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, look, so 21 Jump Street, bringing it back full circle. Also, I have to say, the part where they're doing the drugs and Tatum's doing the whole gold, absolute gold for you. For those of you listening on pod, I just flicked my tongue out a few times. Listen, 21 Jump Street is funny. Oh, you know this, but for those of you who may not know, did you know about the Johnny Depp cameo?
Love it. Love it.
AJ, elaborate.
So, for those who are unfamiliar, 21 Jump Street was a TV series, and the main star of that TV series was a young Johnny Depp playing exactly as Shannon and Jonah are now. He was the adult, but looks young enough to pretend to be a teen, and that's what the whole series revolved around. So, him then coming in later on and being like the original Jump Street and whatnot was just absolute gold. It was a perfect nod to the TV series. Yeah. Never actually watched the TV series, though.
No, I haven't. I actually want to go back and watch it because of that cameo. I'm like, I was aware going in that there was a TV show, and when they brought Johnny in, I was like, oh, okay, that must be that. Like, but obviously, because I didn't have the nostalgic affection for it, it landed, but it didn't land as hard as hard as it
to
should.
me, it was very clever as opposed to the heartwarm that it would give other people, I think.
Yeah. It was very clever. It was very, very clever. 21 Jump Street as a whole, I thought was funny. It was slightly clever, but more parody than pure high school movie. Okay, enough about surviving high school, because that's just giving me all the feels. Enough about surviving high school and pretending to be in high school. Let's talk actually surviving high school with football pads at 3 a.m. There's a fun factoid, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Remember the Titans.
Very, very nearly made the list. Actually, I once I'd done the 10 and I realized I forgot it, I kicked myself. I was like, you prat, that was so guaranteed good to be on your list.
You put me onto this movie, and I'm forever grateful. It is so good.
Such a great movie.
Let me. I found this out about the real Coach Boone's, and it made me go, the fuck, like, what is going on with that? A lot of you know who've been on this podcast journey with us that your boy used to be a pro fighter. Now, during fight camp, when we were getting me and other fighters ready for a fight, we would train twice a day, and you would sleep in between your training sessions and then sleep again after the second one. That was basically what you did. You ate, slept, trained, and shat. That was about it. Couldn't even boom boom. No boom boom before big fight. I found out Coach Boone's did 3 training sessions. One of them was at 3 a.m. That's right. Coach Boone's was Dwayne Johnson before Dwayne Johnson was Dwayne Johnson.
And they had school in between that. That's insane.
This is what I'm saying. This guy was a psycho for fitness.
That is insane.
But it paid off. Like,
yeah.
It freaking paid off. The reason it's quite low down my list is because when I remembered it, I was like, oh, that's going to be high because it's a bangarang of a film.
You remember the Titans. Nice.
There you go. Would you say this is more sports movie or social commentary?
Oh, Oh, there is a lot of
I mean,
look.
it's
Sport is the
both, but
background.
which does it lean in harder to? Do you reckon?
Sports is in the background. I think social commentary is there because it's the challenge. It's telling you what life was back then. It's not just about qualifying football. It's about breaking barriers, man.
Yeah, it really
It
is.
really is.
It really, really is.
Which kind of gives me a kick up the arse to think I should have maybe included it because of the context behind it. Where a lot of my stuff is very light after. Yeah. Look, there's two films that are always in the same camp, and I had to pick one over the other because I tried to be a bit diverse in my list. And yeah, I kind of left it on that, really. It wasn't just one traditional school.
It's what I liked about Coach Carter is that I think it was trying to do multiple things. It was trying to be a sports movie. It was trying to be a school drama. It
Sorry,
was
where are we at? Are we at Remember the
8.
Titans?
Yeah.
No. So you said Coach Carter. Are you talking Remember the Titans or talking Coach?
Whiskey talking, my friend.
I'm just making sure we're on target. All right.
No, we're talking Remember the Titans. What I liked about Remember the Titans is the fact that it did everything really well. It touched on drama, drama, tragedy, actually, because of one of the things that happens at the end, and it handled that really well. Although I have to say, if I was to nitpick, that tragedy came out of freaking left field. I was like, God damn! All right, cool, we've gone there, have we?
But it's one of those things that life
but
be
tragedy
life.
does come out of nowhere. So in that sense, fair play. So yeah, there was that. There was I'm someone who likes the NFL. Philadelphia Eagles, fly. That's my team. So I was pleasantly surprised about how well they handled the fucking sucks as a Brit to call this football because it's not football, but screw it, football, American football. They handled it really well. And they handled the racial tension really well.
Very well. Very well.
So I'm just questioning myself now. Was this a bit too low? But I don't know. It's inspirational, but it feels more like a sports drama. It feels more like a sports drama than a school movie.
Yeah. It's weird because I suppose you've got the racial situation, then the sport, then the school.
Yeah.
Which is weird but real. Yeah.
The sport is a backdrop to the racial tension, but the school is a backdrop to everything.
Yeah, but again, going back to our American History X context
about back to school, this this is justified. Remember the Titans is number 8.
Yeah, it's a bit like American History X. Without the background of it, it doesn't exist.
There you go.
But it's not at the forefront. I'll give you that.
Listen, you could even make an argument about American History X about the fact that Danny tried to write about Mein Kampf, and that's what sets him on his path because his teacher pulled him up on his BS and said, no, we're going to do a new class and call it American History X, and you're going to write about your brother. And that's what sets him on his path, right? So I'd listen to someone if they wanted to argue American History X being a school movie. I don't think there's enough of the school in it.
It is, but it's not exactly. It's the beginning and the end. Everything else in between it. Mind you, Danny's school days were... No, but even that, I would say, no, it wasn't.
No. Over to you, mon ami.
Right, okay, let's keep this going a bit. Pick up because it's 28 minutes and we've only done 3 films. Okay. All right. First time watching this.
Too much.
No. We listen, silver screen dudes, that's what we do. Right, in at number 10 is a film I saw for the first time, available on Disney Plus, and that is Dangerous Minds. Now, I've always remembered this film because of Coolio's Gangster's Paradise. It was the soundtrack to this film, and I was always like, I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see this film. And the music video has a lot of scenes from the film, and I was like, let me see it. It's very much the serious version of a film that I'm going to mention in 2 movies' time, right? So it's about a teacher who comes to a school and it's just the tearaway kids, but she literally walks out. Michelle Pfeiffer being the teacher. I believe it's based on a true story. I haven't done my research, but when I did do research ages ago, I believe it was. Luann is actually a teacher who just I think she's an ex-Marine. That's what I've seen in the she writes on the board, and I was like, you what? That was her first way of getting attention because she's got this friend who recommended her. She's like, I thought you said you wanted to teach. Yeah, but not theirs. They're unteachable. And he's like, just give them a shot, catch their attention. So she's like, I was a Marine. I know karate and stuff like that. And they're like, you what? Then she shows them a few bits and then it starts to build from there. And then
That
she
Neo,
starts,
I know Kung Fu.
literally that kind of stuff. And then through that, it's really funny because this was one of 2 films I watched and one didn't make the list. And she starts teaching them poetry, and poetry starts to then become something that influences these kids. And it was just very much a case of empowering these kids who, sorry, I can hear an echo. I'm sure it's me, but it just
you're good.
cool. And it just like changed these kids' lives who were instantly seen as kids who can't make it. But with that little education and finding a different way of teaching, made something of these kids. And again, very much like Remember the Titans and a lot of these films, there is a bit of drama and tragedy in it that makes you feel like, damn, did it have to happen? And it happened.
Yeah.
But that was it. It was worth a watch. I actually quite enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. As I said, it reminded me of another, well, there's 2 films, one that you obviously know is near and dear to me, and one that's a bit more comedic that I will be bringing up shortly. But it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
All right. Dangerous
All right.
Minds. I mean, I've heard a lot about it. One I've never seen, to be honest.
So we go from
into the collection or not?
Check it on Disney Plus, then decide if you want to buy it.
Okay.
I think that's the fair enough way to go about it. Okay, we go from
seriousness. Just quickly. Do you know what? Oh, you're gonna appreciate this. We're going on a tangent, people. Hold up. AJ,
he's rolling away.
You're gonna love this.
I've got an idea of a film. Oh, mate, nice.
Metal Gear Solid, the greatest video game box ever.
Yes.
Check the back of the box.
That is not up for debate. Metal Gear Solid. I'm going to put this out there now. Metal Gear Solid, and this is a gaming conversation during a film pod, and I do not care because I will always say this any chance I get a chance to say it. Metal Gear Solid is the most innovative game I have ever come across, and I challenge
100%.
anyone. There's so many angles to what they do. It's just not debatable. I did not know this until I read about it recently. Are you aware that it was built by Konami?
Mm-hmm.
If you had other save games from Konami on there, Psycho Mantis would read the memory card and say, I see you're a fan of.
Yes, I did know that because I had other Konami games on there.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Are you going to be purchasing Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta?
We will see.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the remake of Metal Gear 3.
We will see. I've only recently just purchased the whole Metal Gear collection. Accidentally, dare I say, but it's fine. I'm happy with I'm comfortable with the purchase. I only took my money and I chose not to get a refund. Yeah.
To 5.
I believe so, yeah. There's a collection that they had out there and I brought it, yeah. It was that and the whole Tomb Raider.
Me after 3, Before I finished and I was like, it's fine.
Dare I say, honestly, if I'm honest, Metal Gear is 1 and 2. Snake Eater was a drop. An absolute drop in quality.
What? Most people say that's the best one.
Oh, they can go to hell.
See, I'm kind of with you. I think the first is still the GOAT, but
number 1 is the best. Number 2, introducing Raiden was fun, and then Snake coming back at the end was all kinds of cool. 3, I felt like we're playing on the cloning and stuff way too much. It got very basic, then it leveled up very quickly, then it ended. That's how I felt. Whereas I feel like you had to really use your brain for number 1. And I
do you know what annoyed me about number 3 was the constant navigation in the menu to change your camo.
I think it was kind of crap. I enjoyed it. I played it, but where I could
they've hotkeyed the camo in this remake, which is the one thing that made me go, now I'd give you a shot again. Because
it's not to say I
you can hotkey the camo instead of having to navigate into endless menus made me go, that's cool.
It's not to say I wouldn't. It's not to say I wouldn't, but it's just I feel where I know I had so much fun with the first 2 games. When I think of games that I've completed multiple times.
So you prefer MGS2 to MGS3? That is a hot take on the pod.
I know a lot of people could despise Raiden. I'm fully aware of that.
Raiden didn't bother me. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
I know he was very annoying at first. Even I was like, "Who the hell's this? Where,
it's
bring
a
me
man
back Snake."
pushed
I
up my
started up the
torso.
Snake. As the game progresses, you're like, I actually like this guy,
Yeah.
but it's annoying because each time you restart the game, you're like, that guy. You start to love him again. It's the weirdest relationship I've ever had with anyone in the game.
It's got the greatest level in the intro level to a game ever. That tanker is unbelievable.
So much fun. So much fun. I remember it being a demo, and then you're like, what? Stop? What? Huh?
Yeah.
What? No, you gotta stop here. And I think that's what troubles you more. If you play that demo, you're like, okay, I'm Snake. And then you buy the full game, you're like, where's Snake
I'm
gone?
not Snake. Snake!
No, but number one is
Back
Keaton.
onto movies. Keep
Yeah.
going. You're number 9.
Yes, so we go from Criminal Mind, Dangerous Minds to Dangerous Territories because we are going to military school, and we are going to military school with the one, the only Damon Wayans as Major Payne. Now, this film had me in, bro, it had me in stitches as a kid. I remember bumping into it on Sky randomly, and I swear to you, I must have been about 7 or 8, right? I recognized Damon Wayans, but more than anything, it has Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in it, and I was like, oh my god, she's in something that's not Fresh Prince. Hillary, wow. Orlando Brown from That's So Raven fame. I didn't realize he was a little kid till much later. But what it is, imagine like Rambo or something. But it's obviously hyped up in like comedy.
Carry on. I'm listening. I just need to go put a fan on because I am sweating bullets here in the
Bro,
studio.
I'm thinking of popping the window in a sec. But so Damon Wayans plays this very ultra military, like I will crack fingers on the battlefield type army general. And he's about to get dismissed for being way beyond control and stuff like that. And I think he's tortured his teammates and stuff like that. I can't remember the whole thing. And before being dismissed, they're like, we have one more mission for you. And he's like, what is it? And that's where it enters. He's going to teach young children in a like military school, or dare I even say military summer camp. It's not even a military school, but it's a few kids that are up for, they're orphans and stuff like that, or some have been sent from summer camp. Bear with me on this. I'm a bit out of it. It's been a while since I've heard it. However, what comes in is absolute comedy of this man who is not accustomed to being around kids. He is, born and raised on the battlefield as it was, and now trying to find his heart to look after kids and stuff like that and entering. We will take a short intermission while the movie library gets rebuilt. But I remember having great fun with it, so much so that we watched it on Sky, and I remember going to a video store and renting it and watching it endless times before having to return the film. I remember my grandmother on my mum's side being extremely fond of this film. My aunt's friend happened to come through one day, so it was like, this film's brilliant. Why have I never heard of it? And then he was like, I'm going to rent it for my kids to watch it. It just became this infectious thing about Major Payne and stuff. And he's just like, he wants to try to get to the kids, but he's so battle focused and stuff like that. He near enough like PTSDs the kids, but it was a load of fun.
For a guy who claims to not like Marlon Wayans, you've brought him up quite a bit recently.
No. Damon, I like.
Sorry, Damon.
Damon, I love. Keenan Ivory, so. Marlon and Sean, not so much. Damon all day long. Damon is my favorite Wayans.
Is that a fan picking up volume for you, by the way?
No.
Very
I think
good.
There's the smallest of. It sounds like the fan to a laptop. Like I barely can hear it. It's nothing to be. No, it's
not going to throw off
intrusive.
the audience. Cool. Carry on.
1 sec. I'm just gonna. No, I've just boosted my volume. Not a thing. We are all good. Yeah. So that was one for me. Major Payne had to be mentioned. Now I talked about Dangerous Minds. Now I have to bring it to the comedic version it reminded me of. We are back in the habit, bro. We are talking none other than Sister Act 2. I couldn't help
it. Cool. Good shout. Nice pick.
I had
Whoopi,
to do it.
I love Whoopi.
Whoopi Goldberg, the guy who went into Is it City High? The song, what would you do if he was like the lead singer at the end?
This is the one that ends on the girl who wasn't meant to go and sing and opening as a solo to Joyful, right?
Yep. Do you know who that young girl is? Do you know who that young girl is? Lauryn Hill of the Fugees.
Stop.
Lauren Hill. It's a young Lauren Hill. I was just about to say it. So your timing was perfect on that. Absolutely perfect. That's a young Lauren Hill in that. So it's all of these young stars in the making in this. And so if you're not familiar with it,
Girls got pipes, man.
oh man, Lauren Hill is one hell of an artist. Like, a few troubled stories, but one hell of an artist.
Oh, I'd trouble her.
But for those of you, we're talking about people in the cloth right now. If you've not seen it, Sister Act 1 was a troubled Vegas singer who has to go on in hiding, and the police say the best place to hide a Vegas showgirl, as it were, or cabaret singer, I can't remember what they called her, is to hide her in a church. So she becomes a nun. Fast forward, she goes into the court case, proves herself, and she's free to do what she has to do. But they've got some troubled teens, so the nuns go for the only person they know who's got a bit of street cred and a bit of edge, and it's the only one who fixes these children.
Is it because she is black?
Could well be. But yes, the return of Sister Mary Clarence. Yes, Whoopi becomes Sister Mary Clarence once again and fixes these kids in the way that only Whoopi Goldberg knows how to. Great music along the way she gets them all to sing, a good set of laughs. It's just a nice little wholesome movie, if I'm honest.
It's been a moment since I've seen Sister Act 2, but I got nothing but good memories from it.
Yeah, R.I.P. Maggie Smith, who was who?
Maggie Smith?
Yes.
Wait, what? Maggie Smith is dead?
Yes. Was it this year or last year? It's not that long ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, I've got no memory of that.
27th of... Oh, my God. We are 1 month and 1 day away from it. 27th of September, 2024.
God damn.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. 89 years old. Yeah. Just short of 90.
Icon. Lived a great life.
Yeah. Some great movies. Some great movies. And Sister Act was the first film I saw her in, and to see her there, where she was the stuck-up one, and then by number 2, you learn to appreciate her, and it's great actress. R.I.P. Sister Act 2 I had to get back in the habit for this.
You've unknowingly given me the perfect segue there.
Oh, no.
Keeping it in the realm of Maggie Smith. That's made me really sad. I love Maggie.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Yeah, man. Okay, but keeping it in the realm of Maggie Smith and injecting it with a little bit of Professor Snape. I'm gonna go Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I'm gonna go Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone for my number 7. Fun fact for you on this one. Director Chris Columbus, who directed the first one, only wanted to work with British actors, which is why Robbie Coltrane got the role of Hagrid. Did you know who was originally meant to play Hagrid?
No.
Robin Williams. Very different Hagrid that would have been.
Can I be honest?
You prefer Robbie?
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. It's not often I'd say that, but I'm kind of with you.
I have a lot of love for Robin Williams. A lot. It will come up in a short while. But it's not the role for him. I think Robbie Coltrane was... It's very weird, because I think by the time I first picked up a Harry Potter book, the films were coming out, right? So it's very hard to...
Same for me, actually. I saw the first one before I'd ever read a book.
Yeah, but I knew they were out, but I'd read the book before I saw the film. So that is one part to me. But I'm aware of who was being who. So when I'm visualizing who the characters were, right? What I will say, the frame of Hagrid fits Robbie Coltrane. I know there's a lot you could do with CG. I'm not an idiot. Even if
Robbie Coltrane weren't that big.
It wasn't that tall, but build-wise, it fits him more. I think even the beard suits him more than it would have.
I don't know. Think about Robin Williams in Jumanji. He can pull a beard off.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't, but I feel like Robbie Coltrane, for all things, it had less work needed to pull off Hagrid than I would have with. Look, it probably would have worked and it would have been magic, but I feel it just feels right. Robbie Coltrane just feels right. You know?
Yeah, I'm. You know how much of a mark I am for Robin Williams. It's one of the very rare occasions where I'd actually say I actually think they got the casting right by not casting Robin Williams, and you won't hear me say that often. Have you ever done the Harry Potter the which house are you test? You stink. You stink of Gryffindor.
Oh, do I? Oh, thank you.
You
I think
absolutely...
I've been Gryffindor. I think I've been Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. I think those have always been my two.
Of course you
have. Where does Slytherin even come into my DNA? Like, let's be real.
Yeah, it doesn't. But this guy, this guy.
Do you know what's really funny? At the moment, so I just got my Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman donuts just in time from Krispy Kremes, and they're now doing Harry Potter.
Thing?
They were done now.
Worth eating?
Yeah.
Worth the calories? Usually when they do movie times, they're not that good. The Minions ones kind of sucked.
I think the Wonder Woman one might have been my favorite. Make of that what you will.
I approve of your life choices.
So recently there is
slightly Israeli flavored.
Are you even allowed to use that I word at the moment?
Right, are you even allowed to say that? Shit, watch us get demonetized for that watch.
But all I will say, that's my gal. Anyway, stop it, because now this is why we wouldn't fit in 21 Jump Street. We've just proven it. It's jokes like this that will get us into trouble. But,
now, obviously with the Harry Potter movies, all of them are, aside from the last two, which
I'm shocked she went for this one.
Do you know why? Because it's by no means my favorite of the Potter movies. My favorite, both movie and book, actually, is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite movie. It's my favorite book. I got a lot of love for the book, which the fifth one, Order of the Phoenix. I got a lot of love for that book. That was a damn good book. And I also like the Half-Blood Prince a lot. As a movie, I thought this movie in particular did what none of the others succeeded in doing, which is world build, create that sense of wonder within the school. Because this movie gave you more of the classes, you know, Wingardium Leviosa. Troll! There's a troll in the dungeon! Thought you were to know. Things like the brooms being used for the first time. Things like the Quidditch on the school grounds. Like, this movie went in, you know, the Fluffy, the Cerberus dog defending defending the school. The wizarding cards, the wizarding chess, all of these things that, you know, the Great Hall and the sorting hat. There was all of these things that were very, 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 very like, okay, this is existing as a device to build the mystique of Hogwarts. You know, all the schools, all the sorting hat, all the Grand Hall. This movie, I think, of all of them,
you know what,
gave me the most sense. It was the most magical. By no means the best movie, but it was the most magical.
Even going to buy the school books and stuff, it gives you the whole, gives you the whole wizarding world.
Yeah, it was the novelty, the freshness of it, and it really tapped into that. Hey, what would an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or however the hell all the Potter fans screaming at me now, here is 11, goddammit! I don't care. How old would a young kid be? How old would a kid who thinks he's not magic react to suddenly being thrust into this world of magic, which is all new to him, having not been brought up with it? I thought the way they used Hogwarts almost as a character unto itself, I thought it was, as far as a school movie goes, not as a Harry Potter movie, but as a movie set in a school, this is better than any of them.
Number one would be Untouchable. I will give you that. Because then
that's why I went with this one, because of the framing of our topic. I was like, no means the best Harry Potter movie, but for our topic, this is the one. It has to be this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Good shout. But yeah, just going back to it, Harry Potter donuts are now available at At Krispy Kreme.
You
So
sent me something on.
coincidentally-
You sent me
Oh,
something
just
on
watch it later.
Instagram, have you?
It's about Snape. The casting of a black Snape. It's quite realistic and it's quite funny. I don't want to spoil it, but I do kind of want to share it with people. But the whole thing of, yeah, the guy essentially says, I don't have a problem with a black Snape, but do we realize what that looks like for Harry Potter? Let's say that Snape is the only black teacher, and Harry's just walking around being like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about Snape I don't quite like. What does that make Harry look like?
Listen, I'll say something now. I've done a post about this on Instagram. I've made a video about this on both YouTube and Instagram. If y'all are listening on the pod, listen up. Let me educate you. If you've got a problem with Black Snape, that's fine, depending on what your reasons for it are. Now, there are some insidious little racist pricks out there who want to hide behind the fact that, it's not accurate to the book. Let's dive into that. Snape in the book is described as having sallow skin. Sallow, if you look it up, is jaundiced, sickly, pale. We can go down that. That's fine. It never explicitly says he's a white dude. That's never been said in the book. I would maybe put it down to a bit of ingrained racial bias that we would naturally assume Snape is white. But listen, I'm as guilty of that as anyone else. When I read Snape, I was like, oh, white dude. You know, I never crossed my mind that he would be a black guy. I'll be the first. I'm not throwing shade. I'll be the first to put my hands up and say Snape in my mind was never a black guy. However, do you know what is described in the book? Snape's age. You know how old Snape was in that first Harry Potter movie? He was 30. Do you know how old Alan Rickman was in that first Harry Potter movie? He was 59.
I was going to say 50 and change.
He was 59 and counting. So for all of you motherfuckers out there who want to masquerade like, oh yeah, we don't like this new black Snape because book accuracy. If that's your stance as an isolated stance, I'll allow it. Because I was just as guilty as anyone. And AJ, you may say you were as guilty just as me, like thinking, oh, Snape's a white dude. Why wouldn't he be? Right? Whatever that reason may be. It never crossed my mind that he was a black guy. However, when I see people trying to defend that stance and being like, because it's not book accurate. One, never described as a white guy. Two, if you want book accuracy, by that very same logic, you then cannot be in support of Alan Rickman. You can't. Your logic falls apart. If you're saying, I want book accuracy, and in the same sentence, you're saying, I liked Alan Rickman, now you're showing your true colors. Now it's become insidious. However, I have had this argument with people, unfortunately, the boomers of Facebook. I have had this argument online. The Facebook boomers will say, yeah, but Alan Rickman's a great actor. I'm like, okay, can you give this new guy a chance to see if he's decent before we pass judgment on him? If your stance is, I want book accuracy, it's fallen apart. If your stance is, yeah, but bro, come on, it's freaking Alan Rickman. I'm like, I'll listen to that because Alan Rickman is a goated actor. But if your stance is, we're giving him a pass and ignoring book accuracy because quality actor, then equally, this guy who's a lot more in line with age than Alan Rickman was, maybe let's see what he does with the role before we reach for our pitchforks and torches.
Can I be real?
Do you agree with what I said?
Jack Nicholson was the best Joker until he wasn't.
Yes.
No, I agree with what you're saying. No, I'm saying in the Alan Rickman thing, but on the color and what have you, 100%. If we're going to be like, it has to be to the thing, a 59-year-old man is not to play a 30-year-old man. It's just not the way of it. And it looked awkward when you go to those last bits, when you see why Snape was so protective of Harry the whole time, and you see the young mother, you're like, doesn't fit.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah. So
did Alan Rickman knock it out the park? Yes. His
Listen,
introduction in the
vision.
Philosopher's Stone. There will be no silly incantations or wand waving in this class. Does he knock it out the park? Of course he does. It's Alan Rickman. He's amazing. But don't hide behind this fake. I hate to use the word fake because it's used by the Orange Fury over in America. But don't
Fake
come
news.
at me. Yeah, but bro, it literally is fake news. Don't come at me with the whole book accuracy thing and then also defend Alan Rickman, because that logic, I can come at you with facts.
Yeah.
59 should not play 30 if your stance is book accuracy. Freaking Robert Pattinson should have been Snape. Imagine that, he was Cedric Diggory.
Harry, I'm actually your teacher.
Snape was 30 in the book. Snape's
going to school with Lily in the same year, and Harry started school when he was 11. Are you saying Lily had him when she was 19?
Snape in the book is 30. My wife is arguing with me. Cool, let's Google this. I'm going to publicly shame my wife. This is going to be fun. How old was Snape in the books? I'm not caught.
Snape was 38. Snape was 38 when he
38.
died.
There you go. So was Alan Rickman? Oh, okay. So you get a pass. Is it 59? Is it 59? Is it 59? Is it 59? Well, I'm not going to let this go. Is it 59? Can Alan Rick? Okay. So because of an 8-year gap. It's a slightly bigger gap than 59.
Hold on, ready?
Anya.
Excuse me. Hello. Can I interrupt for 2 seconds?
59-year-olds cannot play a 38-year-old.
In the books, Severus Snape was approximately 31 years old when Harry Potter first arrived at Hogwarts.
It is not possible because he went to school with Lily same year, Snape and Lily. And Harry started school when he was 11. So if Snape would be 30, that would mean that Lily had him when she was 19. And that's just not what happened. Just do the math.
It's not about doing the math. It's about the fact that Snape in the books, as AJ has just found by doing 2 seconds of research, is 31. By the time he dies, he's 38.
That's not
Alan,
possible.
talk to J.K. Rowling.
It's not possible. Lily would have been too young to have had him.
AJ, where did you just read the fact that Snape was 31?
Hold on. Let's just
Source,
continue.
please.
How old was Harry Potter's parents?
This is a great debate. I love it.
How old was Harry Potter's parents?
Mm-hmm.
James and Lily were both 21 years old when they died.
She had him at 20.
But he wasn't one, was he? He was a boo-boo when he got the scar. Somewhere between 20 to 21. Listen, if you're going to say that J.K. Rowling's math according to her own novels doesn't add up, possibly. I've never delved that deep. What I do know, which AJ has just confirmed, presented in writing, Snape, okay, not 30, he's 31, my apologies. Snape is 31 in the books. The main crux of what we're arguing is that a 59-year-old... No, it's about book accuracy. An actor, okay, yeah, but that's an actor's got green eyes playing Harry Potter. Now we're getting minutiae detail, also not causing a cultural war outcry. This is what my wife sometimes fails to realize, because she's lucky she doesn't frequent the parts of the internet that I frequent.
Okay, it's probably something you've never considered before, but James and Lily Potter were actually only 19 years old when they married and 20 years old when they gave birth to Harry. As Pottermore, a website endorsed by J.K. Rowling details.
No, Pottermore's real. Pottermore's a thing.
I'm just saying it's not. I'm not reaching it. I'm just saying. I'm exactly saying that. Lily Potter, Nate Evans, was born on 30th of January 1960 to two Muggle parents, Mr. and Mrs. Evans. I mean, it's there. If Pottermore is saying it.
It's Pottermore's as good as gospel.
Yeah.
So I say again, for those of you shouting book accuracy, I say suck a fat one. Suck a fat one. You've just shown yourselves to be dirty little racists. If your stance, which is an honest one, is really a black guy, I kind of always saw Snape as a white guy. Hey man, I'm guilty of that. I always saw Snape as a white guy. But again, in my defense, I saw the first movie before I read the first book. So my mind was formed by, Alan Rickman is Snape.
The world is very weird when all of this stuff comes up, because we have the same issue when I think, is it the Deathly Hallows or whatever? Not Deathly Hallows, whatever.
Yeah, part 1 and part 2.
That's the play, right?
No, the Cursed Child is the play.
Cursed Child. Is Hermione not black in that? At one point,
Is she?
I think so. There was something there.
Well, she's biracial in the new series, isn't she?
It's forever going to be a war that the first way you see someone is the way they should ever be. And I get it at times. Yeah, why are we changing them?
I get it.
I'm not one to argue with, but if out of nowhere, I know, let's be real, JK made all the money she did, but if she came out tomorrow and said, well, actually, guys, no, this TV series is more accurate. He was always a black guy in my writing. It's not like we ever heard, what would we do?
Watch her get cancelled again.
Of course you do. The only do a Dominic Mysterio, like a triple cancellation at this point.
Donald Trump's looking at that going, God damn.
She's doing better than me. Yeah.
I only got 2. All right, cool. So from Hogwarts spells to, let's bring it full circle here. Let's go back to the spell of teenage awkwardness. Where am I going with this? This next one is pure chaos. It's absolute chaos in the school hallways. Because my number 6, AJ, some people are going to be screaming at me for not putting this higher. I couldn't. My number 6, Superbad.
Do you know, Superbad's a one-time watch.
Oh,
I
great.
feel Superbad's overhyped.
No.
I do. I feel like it's fun. It's not the greatest film I've seen. I know some people swear by it, and that's the thing. Where are you going to be like, it's the greatest teen movie, it's the great overhype?
It's up there.
Serviceable. I may be downplaying it. I'm not denying that. But it is not the greatest teen movie. Sorry, it's not.
No, it's not. But it's up there.
Fair play.
I think Superbad for you is going to be like Donnie Darko for the masses. Rewatch it. Twice, 3 times. You'll love it.
There was a film that happened to me with, I can't remember what it was. Donnie Darko. I knew this was going to happen.
¿Qué pasa with your camera? Oh, really AJ's gone.
Hold on.
Should I have just been reached out to by a director? So you're saying you like, I've said what I've said. Superbad is one of those which I think it just gets better and better. It ages like a fine wine. The more you watch it, it gets funnier and funnier and funnier. Did you? I mean, I think you know that it was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg in their teens. That was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Did you know that it was written when they were in their teens?
No, I did not know.
That's cool. That I love. Here's another one. I know the answer to this. I want to see what you would answer. This is fun. Who's more you? Seth, Evan, or McLovin? There is a correct answer here, AJ. Emotional honesty time for the silver screen dudes.
Me.
You.
Jonah Hill.
What?
I'm trying to think if I'm getting confusing him for another film. Are you going to say McLovin? Because I don't think it's that.
No, Michael Cera.
Probably that. I can't remember his character.
That's you. You, Michael Cera, boy.
Probably. I'm probably confusing the characters. There's a one-time watch movie.
Okay.
And it's been a few years.
pose this question to you, because much like every teen comedy, Superbad centers around friends. In this case, it's just two as opposed to the usually larger numbers. But it's, you know, you look like your American Pies or your Porkies and whatnot, which have got larger numbers than just the two, or in this case, the 2.5. Because McLovin's kind of their friend, he's kind of not. He's an iconic character, but he's kind of their friend, he's kind of not. We talk about, you were saying a moment ago that it's overhyped and whatnot. Let me pose this question to you, and it might actually elevate your view of it, your ranking of it. Has there been another truly great teen comedy after Superbad? Is this the last truly great teen comedy?
It's probably the last one.
That's worth something.
It's probably.
I wouldn't say it's a genre killer.
Sorry, I was just reading while listening to you. I'm also looking into why my camera doesn't shut off. I'm either got screen off or I have an overheating issue. Both of
That's
which.
weird because the Osmo isn't noted for overheating, really.
No, it's not known for overheating. Does it get hot? Yes. And was I doing an insane challenge with it at one point? Yeah. So I hope I've not played mucked about with my baby too badly. But hey, we will live and we will learn, won't we? Is the truth. Yeah. Bear in mind, it was trying to catch.
Last truly great teen comedy. I think it was the last truly great teen comedy. I can't think of another one.
Probably.
And unlike, because some movies you can look at and be like, oh, you're the last one and you're the reason they don't make any more of them, right? Is that you kind of killed the genre for good or for bad. I don't think Superbad's guilty of that. I don't think Superbad killed the genre. I think Superbad was very, wouldn't call it respectful because that wouldn't be the appropriate term to use for a teen comedy. It respected the genre that it was in.
Yeah.
It was, what, sorry?
It was true to its law. It was true to its law.
True to its law. It was true to its roots. It was true to its law. It was true to its subgenre. And it delivered. I don't think it killed the genre in any way. Frankly, it was actually quite successful. I'm surprised they didn't follow it up.
Sometimes you need to know how. Here's the thing: could you follow up? Possibly, but you could be forcing the follow up, and it's best to leave it as is. And I'll respect.
When I say follow up, I don't necessarily mean a Superbad 2 or a Superbad franchise. I just mean more teen comedies.
But then again, these are grown men who wrote what they wrote when they were at that point, and they're just at a different point in life, and they can't relate. Whereas they know they wrote that at that time with that mentality. Could well be the way of it.
Yeah. I adore Superbad, and it made stars out of 2 out of 3 of them. Michael Cera is a huge actor, of course, he's a big name, but you don't mess. Jonah Hill is now an Academy nominated actor and has worked with Martin Scorsese. Emma Stone is a multiple Academy Award winning actress.
Yes,
it's mad to say that Emma, she who is now Yorgos Lanthimos's muse, she who has won Oscar accreditation for things like The Favourite and La La Land, she started in Superbad. Mad, isn't it?
Was it Superbad? Was it her first film?
Not her first film, but it was her first kind of like mainstream film. That was the first time people were like, oh yeah, Emma Stone. She was a kid in this, man.
I know. I'm just kind of partially leaning over for her. Yeah, she probably was that one. I think it's because I saw in Crazy Stupid Love first, but I've not.
Oh, this was before Crazy Stupid Love. I'm sure it was. Hang on. Let's do an IMDb fact check on Nico Liro for that one.
You researched Superbad, I'll search Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah. When was Crazy Stupid Love?
2011.
2007. Substantially before.
Yeah. I can tell, when you just see a film and you're like, oh yeah, and she's playing a teen again, and that was it. I just left it as that. To be fair, she was slightly older than a teen in Crazy Stupid Love.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my number 6. Your number 7.
My number 7. This is one of my all-time favorites. Had it on. Well, it's my sister's DVD. I nicked it. I just loved it, and it's mainly like you had a dance movie. This is my dance movie, and I loved the soundtrack.
Oh, I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going.
100%. Save the Last Dance. Like
Julia Stiles.
Everything about this film is all me. I just love it. There is a post out there that says, if this was your favorite movie as a kid, or in your teens, you probably have mixed race kids right now. Nearly happened, but no, jokes aside, it's the story of Julia Stiles, who grew up and was raised with her mum in the private school sector in a very good part of town, very affluent and living life. When her mum dies, she's also a ballet student, so when her mum doesn't make it to her ballet recital, she's first like kind of resentful. Then she finds out her mum died in a car accident. Then she moves down to the suburbs to live with her dad, who is a strange father. There's no in-betweens on that. They don't have the best relationship, and it's a complete different part of town. You know, what would have been her wardrobe is now her bedroom. Her classmates are not the people she would have previously associated with, but she starts to find bonds with them and builds relationships and starts to see the other side of life, really. And in that, there's a lot of power in the power of dance, and we see hip hop meets ballet in some forms. But I just love the soundtrack to this film, everything about it. It's one of those films I just have a lot of time for, so it just had to make the list.
Save the Last Dance is a goodie. I thought they tried to do a little bit too much drama out of not enough story and character. That was always the vibe I got with Save the Last Dance.
It's one of those things that it's one of those things that they touched on. At its core, it's a dance movie. That's the problem, right? But it will show
the beef they've got about, we're going to do a dance off. Watch me squash this shit. I'm like, you're in a nightclub. You're grinding. Calm down. It's not that deep.
Bianca Lawson said that happened.
Bianca when they're in that gymnasium and now you guys trying to take our man, you girls, and it's like, but no. I'm the only white girl in that school.
I am going to stop you there. That is a thing. You may not be aware of it. It is a thing.
White girls trying to take black guys.
It is a thing.
Okay, and what? Black girls don't go for white guys?
Not as much.
Well, that's racist as shit.
It's life, bro. It's one of these things. Like, trust me when I'm telling you I don't have seen it. Think of how many interracial couples you've seen, and the ratio of black male, white female to black female, white male.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Permission to speak openly and honestly? I think some white girls have got a weird, odd fetish for black guys.
So there's a thing that I love in Orange is the New Black. And it's there's this, oh my god, Natasha Lyonne says it to the main star. No, she says it to Laura Prepon, actually, and they say something, and it's along the lines of, well, you know how it is. Girls have one of two things to piss off their parents. It's either date a black guy or date a girl. And the fetish is there. Like, I remember driving in the car with my friend.
I need to watch
it. Have you never seen it? It's like it's in the first season.
That's freaking shit.
But I did laugh. But I was like, it is kind of true.
Wrong, but it's great.
But there was a fact behind it, and I mean, look, there is this weird fact.
Yes, that's wrong. But that's true.
It's this thing that the whole once you go black, you never go back is all based off of this whole stereotype that's out there, you know. So it's not that. But then I'm not. It's not for me to speak for. I don't want to sound Captain Woke and be like to speak for my sister.
Go on, Captain Woke. Dr. Fed and Captain Woke.
But there is that stigma of what it is to be a black woman, and it's not on me to talk it. But if you do your research, you'll see it. And there is that. Go back to Kanye West in Gold Digger, and when he gets like when he makes it, he leaves your ass for a white girl. There is this whole thing of. The successful black man tends not to pick a black lady in his life. I'm not saying it's true. You can watch it. You can look at your top stars and check their wives. Like it is what it is in this situation. And yes, I know everybody like Will and Jada. Who wants to be Will and Jada? On the other side, you've got Beyonce
No,
and Jay-Z.
terrible example. She's
There is
smashing her
Beyonce and
son's friend.
Jay-Z.
Like, what the hell?
But like, no, I mean, look, Denzel has his wife is not white either, but the majority, and this is the thing, I'm not saying it's every couple. I'm not saying that at all, and it's not
And if
for
I
it.
say
But
Cuba Gooding Jr., now you're going to be like, he's not black enough.
I don't know. I'd have to do my research on Cuba's missus, to be honest. But if you check the thing, and if you ask a black girl, like, what was it about? Like, would you know about white women taking black men? It's a thing. Trust me. I've been in circles where the conversation is through.
Be that as it may, my big thing with Save the Last Dance.
All right, let's go.
Where were we?
You were talking, I think we were talking like the whole colorism thing. I think that would be the...
Yeah, so look, be that as it may with the whole white girls will end up with black guys depending on the success of the black guy. That may be a cultural thing I'm obviously not familiar with, naturally. I don't think the movie did anything to build up a narrative around the colors that was deserving of having any type of social commentary. You said it yourself. It is a dance movie.
Yeah, but it's also the smartest. I mean, it's weird that the Doctor's also the best dancer. The Doctor to be is the best dancer. He's the one who doesn't have a kid. There's a lot of things in the same breath that could be like, oh, here we go. We are going to create every stereotype of a black man and have the one guy who is a stand-up, and guess what? He's Captain Coconut. He's running for the white girl. I get
it. Did you actually just say Captain Coconut, Dr. Fed? God damn.
Listen, I'm guilty of many things in life, so I'm
Coconut. Oh, my boy Future is an Uncle Tom.
Well, this is it. We'll go down that route if you want to, but like it's a bit thing. But look, the soundtrack, the dances, even the story, I had a great fun with. I can understand that it could have gone deeper, but there would not have been time, and it wouldn't have lent into what the film's core was.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. That was your 7 or your 6?
That was my 7. My number 6 is the university movie from good old Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. There is another one that I thought was going to... Well, mate, have you got Robin Williams in your list?
I've completely forgotten about Robin.
I'm not a fan of the other one.
What's the other one?
Dead Poet. I know that.
How can you not? Oh,
I did not.
What?
I didn't.
Why?
There was something about it that I just couldn't. And it came up today that one of my friends, when we were talking about it, he's like, "Oh, Dead Poet Society." I was like, "Didn't make my list." He's like, "Why? I love everything Robin Williams." I was like, "You know what? I appreciate that, but I don't think he's in it enough for me to even quantify it as a Robin Williams movie."
That I'd listen to.
So I didn't feel like I was offending him in any way. I just found this weird little clique of boys who like to hide in a cave and beat a drum, and they've just done it based off the fact that he said he had a Dead Poet Society. You know I'm right. The whole time, the kid who ends up having the main focal part of the story, I was like, oh my God, he's the guy from House. It just didn't resonate to me. It was just these preppy boys who chose to not live up to the expectation because they choose. I understood it because of the school we went to, right? I understood it because of the school we went to. I know what it means to have that peer expectation from but not peer expectation, that parental expectation, and you're a failure in all other worlds. But it just seemed a bit excessive. I get that you can't live your dream, but I was like, oh, when it happened, I was like, really? Oh my God, no. I just found myself playing the game of recognizing people from where they were. I'm like the dad. Oh my God, he's Red from that 70s show. I was just pinpointing people from the shows I know. It just didn't work for me. And I was a bit disappointed. I was like, it just felt a bit flat. It just felt very, you've got these big ass men who, and I say big ass men, even though they're teenagers, and I should be talking Good Will Hunting, but just while we're on the topic, who felt very boys in a tree clubhouse. Oh my God, you brought the girls.
Yeah, sure.
It just felt, from the way they played these little preppy boys, it just didn't balance for me. It just didn't hit what. Look, certain things may be stuff I just don't relate to enough, you know, where I could be like, I get it with Save the Last Dance, this one, as much as I've been to those kind of schools, it was just like,
Boys in the Tree Hub Clubhouse. You've just made me think of another movie which I guarantee neither of us have.
go for it.
Scent of a Woman.
Do you know what? I've only seen half of that film. I loved the first half that I saw. I just happened.
The whole movie's great.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's a banger.
Yeah, that one I've got time for. But going back to Good Will Hunting, again, Robin Williams being this amazing influence in the life of young Will Hunting. We've got Matt Damon, who's smarter than he'd like to admit. A man who's fit, who knows his knowledge, but has this fear of losing his roots, as far as I'm concerned, because it's like, if I do this, I become this and the other. But it was, it was a great film for me. I remember having this whole moment of just appreciating, and Robin Williams just showing him how to appreciate life and don't deny who you are, and the moments and the monologues in this film are something to be appreciated like none other. They're truly touching. They make you look at
his monologue with Matt Damon, where he chastises him and gets him to come to his session. Oh, Jesus Christ! I want to get it up now. That beginning is that beginning of that monologue is it's genius.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up. It's so good.
I know it's about like the paintings and the murals. I couldn't tell you like word for word. I couldn't do it verbatim, but
it's incredible. I've got to find it. Come on, it must be. I don't want to see the video. I want to see. You can arguably the best monologue in a movie filled with great monologues. Yeah. So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo, you know a lot about him, life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? But I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling, seen that. If I asked you about a woman, you'd probably give me a syllabus of your personal favorites. You may even have been laid a few times, but you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. Oh, you're a tough kid. I ask you about war, and you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends, but you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watched him gasp his last breath. Oh, God, it's good. Jesus Christ, it's good. Oh my God! And Matt Damon was a kid when he wrote this.
Yeah,
it's one of those unreal. Do you know what's mad? I was having this discussion with Anya the other day. Ben Affleck's the biggest star than Matt Damon now.
Well, always has been, sadly.
It's mad.
You know what I think it is? If I'm honest, I think Ben chased the dollar where Matt Damon tried to stay true to his art. So you will take Matt Damon for something like Pearl Harbor. Matt Damon's going to stay away from that kind of stuff. He was more serviceable. So, and then Matt Damon was also more in the public limelight. Look, he's got both Jennifers. He's had the Jennifer relationships and all of that kind of crap. Where Matt Damon lives a quieter life. So when you're going to be like, who's in the public eye more? He's there. Matt Damon. Well, this is the thing. I was going to say Matt Damon would have been a very, very good Captain America had he been cast that way, But
Matt Damon would have been a great Iron Man.
He could have, but I
mean, listen. There are certain roles, Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Wesley Snipes as Blade. They're just so synonymous with those roles. It's hard to see anyone else. I maintain Damon would have been a great Iron Man.
Has your mic come a bit closer, or like what? It just seems a bit louder and a bit not as.
Is it not good?
No, it seems a bit louder. It's a bit weird. Just
louder?
slightly.
I don't know about that. Sorry. Let me make sure if StreamYard hasn't done anything funny. Audio? No, still audio connected.
Could well be me with my changes and my reloads, but yeah, cool.
That was your 6, yeah?
Yes, that was.
All right. So from going back to Superbad, there's one thing I wanted to add about McLovin. Do you remember he actually ends up porking one of the hottest girls in their year?
Mm-hmm.
For all of his nerdy dweebiness, McLovin actually gets laid and turns out to be, pretty accomplished in what he does.
Is the Shermanator?
He literally is the Shermanator. Brilliant. Well played, sir. But I question if McLovin, even with all of his Shermanation prowess, would stand a hope in hell with the girls from my next entry. Because my next entry, they mean, AJ. It's mean girls.
Oh, they punted, bro. They punted.
Okay, punt we have.
Yeah. First one. Okay. Right. In at number 5 for me. Might be a bit of a shocker for you. But it's the AJ film. It's the sporting film that AJ picked over Remember the Titans. It's the one that got massacred on X. Of course, we are talking about Coach Carter. There's no way I wasn't going to do
the second punt.
Oh, okay. So we're finally getting to a Rushmore.
Right.
How cool.
Shit, you've either forgotten this or you're about to punt me again. Because from burn books to band camp, AJ, my number 4, none other than our fave American Pie.
Punt again.
Punt again.
It's like how the Rushmore just built its way. I was like, he's mentioned some stuff. I've mentioned some stuff. We're not collabing. Bang. Right. Okay.
And if we both got the same number 1, our Rushmore is locked in.
That could be it. Right. In at number 4 for me, I've gone down a different route. We've done church schools, we've done dangerous schools, we've done dance schools, we've done high school where we've like sporting and burn book. I'm going to go for homeschooling in this one. I believe you've seen it. I think you have seen it. I've talked about Captain Coconut and Captain Woke. Let's bring in Captain Fantastic. Yes, Viggo Mortensen.
I've not seen it.
Bro, I remember stumbling across this film in one of the days when I had Sky, and he's one of the most awkward men you'll come across, and when you see it,
Where's
like,
Anderson? This, isn't it?
It may well be. I don't even. Do you know? I've not even done my research on this film like that. But he's this guy, and he's lost his wife one way or another. It's a one-time watch, so excuse me on not having the full deets on this. But when I was like back to school, and I tried to be as diverse as possible, this one came into my mind, and he looks like the ultimate tree hugger. I'm not going to shy away from it. He lives out in the woods in a caravan. I've got all the slurs today, and I cancel AJ, right? And
Matt Rossi directed it, not Wes. My apologies.
And he lives in like this caravan, but he lives out in the woods and what have you. And he goes to visit his family, and it's all to do with a different way of life and what is education and what are values. If we don't conform to society's norms, are we wrong? And there's this really poignant part that comes to it where he's having an argument with his sister and brother-in-law over how his kids aren't normal. And he then calls down his 2 nephews who are 13 and 15 or something like that. And he asks them what's the Bill of Rights, yeah? And they start to give their brief understanding. One has no clue, the other one can just surface it. He then calls down his daughter, who happens to be 7 or 8, and asks her what's the Bill of Rights. I believe it's the Bill of Rights. I'm probably less educated than his daughter, so it's not for me to talk it. And she starts to explain it. He goes, no, that's the textbook stuff. What are your personal views on it? And they're like, she starts to do it. And he's like, and then now the sister's like, no, stop. You proved your point. He's like, no. I've answered your kids. Now let's answer mine. And he starts to throw these curveball questions, and she starts to give her own opinions. And through this, there are different things in rituals, even down to like funerals and burials and what have you. But it's what education can be when you take your own stance on it. And it reminded me of you and Nath on our way to Amsterdam when you guys were both talking about what home education would be. Mm-hmm. Now, in this one, Viggo is extremely out there. Like, he is completely bonkers to the degree that there's one point where they knock the door and he opens like the caravan door, if I remember rightly, and we see all of Viggo Mortensen as you were. Some people may appreciate it. I was like, whoa, what kind of fucking
his junk out, that man?
Right, it's the only other time. Like, there's one time I recall seeing it, and I one time too many. But no disrespect to it. Well done, bro. But that's not what I signed up for in a film. Yeah, but it was really. I remember watching this film like, my God, this guy's out there. But the more you watch the film, the more you're like, I get it. And that's what really stuck to me with this film. As I said, one time watch, but for it to made its way into the top 4, very good film. Highly recommend it.
I do need to see it. I'm a big fan of Viggo.
Are you familiar with the film though? Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've not watched it.
Yeah, no, good film.
All right, so you punted on my number 4. Awkward teenage boys. Now let's go to the most fashionable teens in Beverly Hills, AJ. Yeah,
This hurt me to leave off.
I'm switching gears here because to leave this off, my only 2 words to you would be as if. My number 3 has got to be Clueless. Alicia Silverstone. Oh, and the daily. It's still crazy that Brittany Murphy's not with us anymore.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
It's mental. It's mental. But yeah, Britney Spears. I'm sorry, not Britney Spears. Brittany Murphy. Sorry. It's also crazy to think that this is based on a Jane Austen book.
Yeah.
Same. The Jane Austen book led to the creation of Clueless. It's stylish. It's timeless. It's raunchy, but in a way that hasn't aged inappropriately as society's sensibilities have changed. So you guess you would still qualify it in some parts as raunchy. Paul Rudd with a star-making performance. This is Ant-Man's Inception, essentially. How does it compare to modern teen movies? I personally think absolutely gloriously. Because some people will say that whatever and as if have aged. Yeah, the same way that our generation, sick, has probably aged. That then became peng. And I'm sure that they've got a new word now for peng, right? Lingo will age. The themes of this movie are absolutely timeless. The girl who thinks she's got it all, but in fact she's got nothing because she hasn't discovered emotional honesty yet. It's as timeless as you like.
Clueless is very it's very poignant. Like, the cultural impact it had is mad because it created those words as much as those words were there. But all the hand gestures behind it and stuff like that it was generational changing. It had it, and it also highlighted the Valley girls, that whole California lifestyle. It just showed, like, even now, if you ever want to talk about someone from California, it's just like, so whatever. Like, it just became a thing, and this is all based off of. It was never shown before. You would literally have Beverly Hills 90210, which glorified it. This ridiculed it to the highest degree, and that has lasted the test of time. There is no in-betweens on that. It showed something and it's become something because of it. Yeah, the lingo has died out, and as you said, it's there, but the awareness behind it is one of those things that you're going to be like, oh, it's very on the nose. It will be, but it just shows that as much as you have it all, you can genuinely have nothing, without certain bits. When you've got that missing part in your life, you've got that missing part in your life.
Yeah, you do. What is I need to add this to my DVD collection, and quickly. I adore Clueless, which last month turned 30 years old, if you can believe it.
Crazy, right?
Mental. Your number 3, please, AJ.
My number 3, it's the punt. It's the other girls. the spiritual successors, which I suppose... Reese Witherspoon. Am I allowed to mention her?
Yes.
So Clueless, some people would say Legally Blonde is the spiritual, like the unofficial sequel. Cher becomes someone else, hides her identity. Like, it's a weird thing, but if you're going to talk about the group of girls, fuck off. Ed. So, yes, you mentioned one girls, but I've gone to the spiritual successor in one way. The other girls, yes, I'm talking about the Mean Girls themselves. The punch from earlier. I think every now and again I forget Mean Girls, and when I
you forget how
watch
good
this
it
film
was.
again, I watch this film again, and I just fall in love with it again. Even down to Kevin and G, hey Africa, like the whole thing. It's all of it, and then even down to when he comes back later, and is it when he wins the math contest and he rips open his shirt and starts to do his rap? Oh, Kevin and G, you sucker MC's got nothing on me. I mean, like, you what? The spiritual, the broken vase from the Underbelly tribe, and all of it, like everything about the original Clueless.
Too
What
gay
I
to
love,
function.
yeah, exactly, too gay to function. I'm softy that I am. I'm a big Mariah Carey fan. Don't give a shit what anyone says. I am. There are certain songs that just run with it. You know when she had that beef with Eminem and she released the song "Obsessed"?
Mm-hmm.
What's the opening line to the music video? I think it's even in the song. I was like, why are you so obsessed with me? It's Gretchen. She's a huge Mean Girls fan, and she stole that line. Like it's that. Is it on? On Wednesdays we wear pink. Like there are so many different things that just come out from this one film that you just got to
Speaking
love.
of on Wednesdays we wear pink, you've given me a perfect segue here, because did you know that despite how brilliant the Tina Fey script is, and it is brilliant, there is no doubt that Mean Girls is one of the most quotable movies. Like we've just highlighted it.
Yeah, even Fetch.
But when
Fetch will
Regina
never happen. Fetch is a
Fetch
thing.
will never happen. Well, here we go. The day Regina George forgets to wear pink. You can't sit with us.
Yeah,
That wasn't in the script. That
mad,
was improvised.
mad.
So good, right? Did we have a Regina George in school?
But here's the thing that I say, and I joke about it, right? And what I used to say was the school I went to was so preppy and so weird. It was full of plastics, and that was the guys, let alone the girls. Like it was bitchy enough that you could say that. To have a direct Regina, oh screw it. The chances of them even watching this pod would be weird. But do you remember?
Aurelia, aren't you?
Who?
You're going to say Aurelia, aren't you?
I would never. I've got nothing but love for that girl. Don't be silly. That would never ever come out of my mouth. Nothing but love. Yeah, come on, man. Even I try to remember to like text her every birthday or her birthday, man. That girl's never did it to me.
Still get a reply or not?
I didn't message her this year, but no, we're still good. I think if I made like me being me, if I made honest effort, we'd have a better friendship. I'm ghost.
Yeah, you would have had a lot more than that if you listened to me back in the day.
I was just too shy. I was too old. I'll be honest with you. I remember I kind of led.
Unbelievable. Hottest girl in school fancied AJ, and he was like, nah, bro.
I wanted to. I just didn't have the guts to. I'll be honest. I kind of led that conversation when we had that conversation.
Every male with their blood pumping through their veins wanted to. Trust me.
That girl used to call me her hubby. She used to nick my ring. Anyway, it's not about a ring right now. But nothing but love, girl.
AJ was in the position that every man wanted to be in. And
AJ was 2 years older.
Assume the position.
AJ was 2 years older in a time when if he's 16 and she's 14, that's called jailbait. So he will shut them.
Yeah, but when she's 16 and he's 18, that's called legal.
Yeah, but she'd moved to France by then. But going back to it, do you remember this thing? And I can't remember the 3 people, but we all used to use MSN Messenger.
Oh yes,
do you remember these girls? 3 girls had created their own version of a burn book, and this was way before.
Right.
It was way before Mean Girls had come out, but it was called MSM, and it was the 3 people involved. And I'm not going to say the one name that sticks into my head, but she was the poor girl who, when they forgave the other 2, she was the whipping stick. She had to take the punishment for it. I believe it. Actually, it might have been spelled that way. She took the punishment. Check the private chat. Right? She took the punishment for it when the other 2 were just let off scot free. Yeah. And so it was MSM, and that was their thing. So they just went about this thing of creating a thing of just insulting
The
different
Polish
people.
girl, right?
Oh yeah, it's
She was Polish, Maya Rostovska. Yeah, I said it.
you were such a... All right, no, because I just had this thing of someone else, but no, it wasn't. No, it's fine. But yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
And what? Come at us. But it was
What's
was
she gonna
this
do?
whole
Sue me for teenage defamation? Like, get the fuck out of here.
we didn't create the website.
You know what I mean? There's a paper trail to you, bitch.
But like, no, honestly, I felt sorry for her because the other two, I can't remember who they were, but they got completely let off, and it was like, no, it was
Well,
my
there was
fault.
Dixie.
It was MSM, so it was a M, an S, and an M. I've got Soraya in my head, but I can't think.
Soraya, yeah, I was gonna say
Neither of the
Soraya.
Sorayas would have been involved,
Soraya was definitely Gretchen.
but there may well have been a Sophie. Maybe
Hey,
it was
did
a
she
Sophie.
read the weather?
but going back to it, like that was a thing that we had a burn book come out, and it was like they paid it was like a web page, and they just insulted everyone, and it was like had the thing, and then they done like a backtrack and found out who it was, and yeah, she took the stick for it. So yes, we did have our own version of the Mean Girls, which was weird.
They got theirs.
Yeah.
All right, man.
No
Cool.
one got hit by a bus though, and also the
No,
musical
yeah.
sucked. The musical movie sucked. Not going to talk about the play. Didn't like the film.
No, I completely agree with that. That was your number 3, yeah?
Yep.
My 2 is the pun, bro. Coach Carter. Had to be. It just
Wow.
had it, bro. I adore this movie. Clearly more than you.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think I'd done with this? Right? I know Captain Fantastic Coach Carter is very, very near and dear to me. And that Twister and Faith Evans at the end is just so touching. I think I also tried to be non-AJ and not just like slam it into like my instant.
No, I got you there. I got you.
Sometimes you got to make sure your bias doesn't take the better of you in it, because I think it could have easily been my number one, but my number one, which I think is going to be a joint number one, just has this thing that played on me the second time I watched it, and it kind of sticks with me.
So this and Remember the Titans are very similar because
this is what I said. Yeah,
they've both got a lot of sports involved. Obviously, they've both got a lot of cultural war messaging involved. Obviously,
discipline. I think discipline is a huge message.
Obviously, however, I believe that the sport almost played a backdrop in this movie. It was
in this film 100%.
Yep. This film was message driven, and it was completely dependent on being in the school. That's not to say the message isn't applicable outside the school, but for the scope of this movie, the school was not just a backdrop.
But the
Rich
thing is,
who? Rich what? Richmond. This school needed. Yeah, this school needed to be almost becoming a character unto itself. Did you know that the real coach Ken Carter did lock his team out the gym until their grades improved?
And this is the thing, is that where Remember the Titans would be about mad drills in this, he cared about where he gave up the sport, gave up the opportunities to win, was for these kids' better futures. It's like, yeah, you can do it, but guess what? There's 10,000 other kids in this state alone, let alone the entire country, with the dream of being the next Michael Jordan. What happens if that doesn't happen? Their education is key. Their presentation is key. Like the discipline being taught in Coach Carter is what I just love. Is that a man? Do you know? I go back to it, Mr. Jennings. Forever grateful for that guy. A man who sacrificed his lunch break time and time again to do the better for us in maths. He would be there. At the time we thought he was the biggest arse. Like, why is this fucking prick calling us? Mr. Jennings, if you're hearing it, nothing but love and respect for you, because it was a man who just gave his time because he wanted the best for his students. And you don't have to do that. There aren't many teachers who will do it. And Ken sacrificing his own career actually in this, because as a sports teacher, especially in the competitive nature of high school basketball and football, it's based on your success. And you're sacrificing that because you have a winning team, but their academia is not doing well, and you're willing to sacrifice your team's winning for that. Nothing but respect. Arguing with parents, like, you think I hate your kids? I'm doing this from a point of care. If you care, you'll agree.
Yep.
Making them business presentable. Love everything about Ken Carter. Love the guy.
Really do. And Samuel L. Jackson, such a kick-ass performance.
Yeah.
Such a kick-ass performance. Yeah, man, I adore this movie. What's your number 2?
My number 2, look, I'm doing it, but I think it's based on the franchise. It's The Boys. It's American Pie. Look, the image is up. It's American Pie, and I think what makes American Pie really special for me is it's, as we said, I think Toy Story and American Pie, we grew with these films, right? And when you look at American Pie, I remember being 15 and this being the first film I could walk into casually, no sneaking. I am 15. I'm going to watch this 15 and just laughing my rear end off at it. But all of the elements of trying to lose the V card, the situations we all know. Like, look, it sounds extremely weird, and nowadays, if you're in the UK, you need age verification to be able to search this. But this is the birth of MILF. MILF was born.
I was about to say, it created a porn category.
Yeah, like it's there. Even now, if you refer to that, well, like, that's a MILF. Thanks, Stiff. Like, you know, it was Stifler's party where that came out. This is what it was. Like, you know, Jennifer Coolidge is the original. That is the alpha MILF. Like, that's
the alpha MILF, Mama MILF.
Like, this is where it all came from.
Stifler's mom has got it going on.
But all of it is built off of this, and it has every, like, you could talk about Superbad having this character, and which one are you? All forms of characters are found in American Pie, you know? Even if you go into your sub characters of
me
people,
back then, I was Shipwreck. Now I'm Stifler.
But it was a journey. American Pie was a journey, and it's just something.
Second movie's the best.
It is, but it's a spring break from college. It just changes the dynamics that it can't be in this category.
They just unleashed Stifler in the second movie. It was like, God damn.
Wipe
my hands and lick my balls. It's Stifler time, baby.
Yeah. Was that? All of it.
Peed on at the beginning. Oh yeah, that's great. I can taste the bubbles.
That's number 1.
That
was number 1, isn't it?
2.
No.
Number 1 is the beer. The cum.
Oh yeah, the pale ale. Oh god, yeah. Do you know the funny thing? The funny thing about that one.
What's my name? Say my name, bitch.
You know the funny thing about the pale ale, which is so annoying, right? Is, as a non-beer drinker, I thought that was just their way of saying that someone's drinking that stuff. So when I'm hearing people like, "Oh, I just love a pale ale," I'm looking at them like, "You what?" It's amazing what can like come out from stuff.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, no,
and the freaking the Bible, we're teaching him how to do cunnilingus. It's gold. And her dad about to walk in. I'm coming. It's, okay, it's so freaking good. And of course, the iconic strip scene with Shannon Elizabeth. I mean, how can we forget? So, Jim, I believe shaven is the word. Like, every guy our age went.
But again, imagine being in the cinema, like Shannon Elizabeth
with
on the big
raging stalk on, like,
and you're like, "Oh my god, am I actually watching this film?" Like, your eyes are like, no, and then you're like, "Oh, mate."
She was unbelievable back in the day, Shannon Elizabeth.
And the thing is, it was touching his thigh and he blew it. And you're like, ah.
Twice.
It's when the guy goes, "What happened?" He blew it again.
And then everyone going, "Again?" And even the monkey like, it's so good. It's so good. It's still not as good as all the stuff in number 2. The dick getting stuck to the hand, the lesbian and gay scene. I mean, that was gold. I'm touching his ass. I'm touching his ass. I'm touching his ass. I'm touching his ass.
It's a bit before
Break
when they're like,
a position. I'm touching his ass. I'm touching his ass. I'm touching his ass.
it's like, you want me
Squeeze
to
his
touch
ass, son. You'll like it.
Exactly. It's like, honey, dinner is ready. I'm not hungry.
It's so good. I'm not fucking hungry. So good. Okay, that I need to add to my collection. American Pie 1, 2, 3, and 4. Forget all the direct-to-DVD stuff. The mainline
I would buy the
American
box.
Pie.
I would buy the box set that just has everything. I know it won't have the female one, but
Oh, it's so funny. It is such a funny. It is such a funny franchise. That first one, though, man, it changed the game. It really changed the game.
yeah, it did. It did.
Oh,
It
it's
did.
amazing.
But it's one of those things. Again, it fits our era. I don't know if now, like Stifler. Again, he was the dumb jock back then. Now he's just a caveman. I think, like, where people were like, you love to hate Stifler. Now I think he's just the epitome of evil. Now he's got to be.
Not for
Not
me.
Exactly. But like Stifler and Johnny Bravo belong in the museums, don't they? It's sad, but real.
Yeah, no, that's true. Did this change teen comedies? No, but it became a worthy additional to the genre. And does it hold up? Hell no, for the reasons you've just said. This is aged like milk for modern sensibilities. For you and me, this is freaking Cabernet Sauvignon, mate.
Yeah. For those, again, it's that famous line: if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. You just had to be there in the time, and it's just that.
Was it Zany who said he didn't like this film?
He hated Ace. He hated Ace, and that.
Oh, stop it!
He hated Ace. I think he watched 1 and 2, but out of all collections that I showed him, I was shocked at the one that won, Austin Powers. It was Austin Powers that won out of the
I
stuff.
mean, it's
showed.
great. It's freaking
It
great.
is. But to feel like, no, do you know? I think it was my cousin I tried to show American Pie to. I don't know if I'd got there with Zane yet. I'd be interested to test him on it now. Do this test as an 18-year-old man. Like, yeah, check this.
All right. Before I reveal my number one, AJ, I've got something to get off my chest. I got something to get off my chest, and it's probably going to annoy a lot of people, I would say. It's my worst school movie. It's the one I cannot freaking stand. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Bear with me.
Are you there? Oh, my man.
It's one of these things that, now I'll be honest, I have this weird thing when I say the apnea started to kick in and I can't stick with a film. But I remember watching and going back, and I was just like, there's a few films where I think there's false hype. Cornetto Trilogy be one of them. This was the next one. I was like, I don't get it. Like, do you know what's weird? And it's not what he'd want to be known as. Matthew Broderick is Stephen from Cable Guy to me. He's not Ferris Bueller. And I know a lot of people.
Good shout.
Like,
Good
that's
shout.
who he is to me. And I know he's meant to be the king of cool. I've never seen Ferris Bueller as the king of cool. What's weird, a film that nearly made the list, and it's not my number one, and I know it won't be your number one, Van Bueller with Ryan Reynolds. That was a better movie. Very like,
Van
do you know
Wilder.
what I mean? Van Wilder, yeah. Why did I think it was Bueller? But it was Van Wilder. That was the one. Yeah. For some reason, I thought they had similar names, and I thought they were linked. But yeah,
Van Wilder. Van Wilder. No, Van Wilder was all right.
Yeah. So there's no reason to link those two. But yeah, Ferris Bueller just didn't work for me. Did not work. I feel like I need to give it a second viewing, but it didn't work.
No, you don't. No, you freaking don't. Permission to rant.
Go. It's all yours. The floor is yours.
Look, I get it. People love to call this a classic. It's supposed to be rebellious. It's supposed to be charming. It's supposed to be carefree. But honestly, Ferris himself is inherently kind of a douchebag. He's a really unlikable character. He's smug. He's manipulative. He coasts through life with zero consequence. Now, some people might be saying, yeah, right on. If you can get away with it, get away with it. Meanwhile, his best friend Cameron is in the throes of having a full-fledged mental breakdown, fact, before our very eyes. And Ferris just kind of drags him around Chicago like he's a freaking human accessory. And yet audiences cheer him on as if he's some kind of folk hero. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I can't sympathize with him. I mean, nothing bad happens to him, so there's nothing for me to even sympathize with. I don't even enjoy watching him. Stifler, you just pointed out a moment ago, kind of the quasi pseudo inherent villain. But I enjoy watching Stifler. I enjoy watching that train wreck. I don't even get enjoyment out of watching Ferris. He's basically the blueprint for every irritating cool kid you've ever met. The kind of person you'd roll your eyes at even when we were in school. But for some reason, people worship him when he's on screen. It's like an odd concept to me. Honestly, I struggle to take any intelligent adult, especially adults who have got kids, especially adults who have got kids who are teenagers and of Ferris Bueller's age, and who adults who gush about this movie. How do you watch Ferris swanning around, smirking, being all smug, manipulating his parents and teachers, and think, yeah, him. That's charming. I like him. To me, he's not charming. He's not freaking charming at all. He's an annoying little toe rag, and the film glorifies that as if he's some kind of genius. Like, there's nothing smart about him. He's an atypical wastrel that I like to squash beneath my boot. So yeah, before we crown the best school movie, and I have a feeling we're going to land in similar territory here, frankly,
Really.
I had to say Ferris Bueller's Day Off is overhyped, and I will die on that hill. And I think you're with me on that hill.
I kind of agree, but you know the 21, I have to call it the 21 Jump Street argument. I wonder if we saw it at the wrong time. Because
No,
a lot of the stuff
I've
he does,
rewatched it at all sorts of stages of my life.
here's the thing, I know, but you didn't watch Saved by the Bell. Zach Morris can be quite guilty of a lot of that stuff. Again, Stifler could, but these are the guys that we followed up and worship. Dare I even say even the Fresh Prince? If as much, but do you know what? All of them had their comeuppance. Some of them had something go wrong at one point or another. Be it heartbreak, be it a pain. Even go back to Stifler, you know, Pale Ale, The Shower. Like, he had some form of comeuppance for being this entitled little prick. Ferris doesn't. It was just too easy, and it's like, oh, the ultimate day off.
You got off too easy. I agree.
You put your friend in a catatonic coma. Like, the poor guy was just there, like, what have you done to my dad's car? You gotta be a dick to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like,
there is no victory in screwing your boy over to that degree, you know? And just being like, oh no, I was in bed ill. No. How is that a friend? How is that the guy I want to be with?
Thank you. He's a dick.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
It's a weird one. It's a weird one. But okay, over to you, sir, with your number one, and I'm sure I'll press the same button very shortly.
It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. If we're talking school movie, I've made it very clear throughout listing that I put Remember the Titans a bit lower, even though it's a fantastic movie because it focused more on the sports aspect. I've given my breakdown. I've put Harry Potter a bit lower because it's more fantasy, but I acknowledge the first one because it played on the school. I've given you my breakdown throughout this pod, this nearly 2-hour pod. Jesus Christ. Well, we only come to you once a month. Enjoy it. If you're talking about a movie set in a school,
this doesn't leave the school.
This doesn't leave the school. There is only one. It's The Breakfast Club.
Co-sign.
It has to be. Do you know the mad thing? The library wasn't filmed in a library.
Go fucking figure. Go freaking figure.
Do you know what? It was filmed in a school gym, which they converted into a library.
It was going to be a freaking gym. You just can't fake this stuff at times, can you?
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's a fun one. Listen, there's been a million and one dissections of the Breakfast Club. We don't need to spend the last few minutes of the pod going into, well, the Breakfast Club is about blah, blah, blah. Frankly, if you're with
It's
us,
just a connection that you could be from different cliques, but the more we're different, the more similar we are.
Which character do you relate to the most amongst the five of them?
Do you know, because the second time I watched it was the time I took it in, and I've not watched it enough to be able to embrace it the same way you have. I want to say the kid who is it? He had the problem with his dad, and is it self-harmed? I want to say, is he a redhead kid? The quiet kid is
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah,
the one who ends up writing the essay for them.
I think so. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Amelia.
I think I'd put you with Anthony Michael Hall as well. For me, weirdly, I think it's Ali Sheedy. You know, gender out the door. They're kind of the slightly goth girl who gets ignored and forgotten and overlooked, even though there's a lot going on with her. I kind of relate to her a lot.
Do you know what I hate about me when it comes to that box ticking thing is that there is that weird element that I can I have to be like a merging, because as much as I can be that guy, not blowing my own horn, I also had the non-sport inside, but that Emilio side to me that everyone knew who I was.
Yeah.
But it's behind the veil. It's like, yeah. Again, the game I love to play when I talk to people now is there is a difference between Anthony and AJ. There is. You know?
I know this.
Very few have met Anthony. Very few have. You know? We've seen the traits of him in AJ, but it's a different guy. Yeah. And that's where I'm like, it's a mix between the two, because I would need Anthony's story, but I had Emilio's popularity, you know? That's the weirdness behind it.
So here's a big question then. In a world where we've now had Adolescence on Netflix, and if you haven't seen it, AJ, I thoroughly encourage it.
I need to watch it again properly. The first episode blew me apart. The other, that's the thing where others get into a deep thing. The first one got me. The others, continue.
In a world where, you know, we've got social media, where kids have essentially taken on a new language that people of our generation, even ones who are probably more clued up like yourself, I'm certainly not familiar with the freaking lingo of colors of hearts and emojis and stuff. Like, there was so much in adolescence. I did not know about this stuff. This is terrifying. That you've got people like your best friend, me, people like your brother, Nathan, literally so scared about school systems and about how kids are being managed and how their mental health is being taken care of, that homeschooling seems like the safer option. Still something I'm strongly considering, by the way. But in a world like we have in the year of our Lord 2025, is the Breakfast Club still relevant to teens today? I personally think it is, but I'd love your take.
The thing is, I would say yes. And I think in a way more prevalent than you would ever imagine. Because what I will say, it's an age-old argument and statement I made, is back in the day, it was one house, one TV, right? Growing up for us, you were very lucky. We were the first generation to have a TV in our room as well as the thing, right? But everyone gathered around the TV for the big EastEnders moment, the big Corrie moment, Top of the Pops. Irrelevant what you're into, you know what I mean? We all had, everyone had those moments. Who shot JR? No matter what you want to say, there were those big moments. Now in the world of YouTube, and this is why stuff like Top of the Pops died, you could take Zayn, who will log into X Music. You've got someone else who's going to go into YouTube watching someone else. You've got your KSI fans, you've got your Logan fans. They might cross-pollinate. Then you've got your Mr. Beast fans. But we all, again, with all of these, these ones, this, that, and the other, we all still have, you know, it could be, I don't know. I'm not going to say there are people that go F the speed fans, F the this fans, but you are aware of the different pockets that are out there as these teenagers, all based off of social media. I'm not just pointing at YouTube when I say this, but I just know that that's where you'll find most different things. But at its core, you are all different, but you are all still very similar. So then when you go beyond that, When you realize that, you know what? Oh, you still listen to drill? You still listen to grime? It's all about drill now. You listen to these American guys. You listen to these Brits. Oh, you listen to whoever the new age rock is. I don't know what the rock music scene is nowadays. No matter what it is, when you get into that conversation and start to see who you are at the very core, you all understand what the blue heart means. You all understand what the orange heart means, what these other bits mean. And that's when you start to see the similarities. And then you start to see what triggers you, what annoys you. And I think it becomes more prevalent than it even was for us, because their minds are set in a very short span. That's weird. I do fear for this future. One of the weirdest things that happened to me, now it's a weird tangent, but I have to end on it to continue this conversation. At the progress show I went to yesterday, there was a statement where they were talking about certain things, and the host, Jerry Bakewell, said something along the lines of, I just went on to ChatGPT to get these facts. Do you know what happened when he said that? There was a boo. And I quite welcome this, because I didn't think this would ever happen. We then followed it with a chant of fuck AI. And I didn't even think that would be a thing. Now, why I say it's appreciative is because I don't hate AI. I don't hate AI. But do you realize what we used to do and how our brains were developed differently? What it is doing to these kids in the way that technology has taken over absolutely everything. It's a weird future ahead for children nowadays.
It is. It is.
It is. And I never thought I'd be that person, but
I would
at its core,
say
they
you
can
are
still
now
find
walking
common ground.
around with a PhD doctorate in your pocket. Any type of information there.
Here's the thing, and I always go back to it is what it is now, the ex's stepdad. And he went, this has more information in it than what they had when man landed on the moon. A room.
Sure.
You know, yeah.
For sure.
And that's the madness about it, you know. It's
AJ was
you've
just
got
holding
more
up a phone for those of you listening on pod.
Sorry, yeah. But it's that you've got more technology in the palm of your hand. And dare I say, today I'm mucking about with my glasses, guys. The Meta AI, the Meta glasses have me talking to my phone and just asking different questions to see how
AJ,
far.
I just, for a client, built a 20-minute long movie without picking up a camera, without turning on lights, without recording audio, without, here's the one that freaked me out, without scripting anything.
Yeah.
Everything was done in AI. My pushback would be, they're tools. They're not here to replace us. They're tools the way that I liken it to a power drill. You can manually screw a drill in. You can manually screw a screw in, right? It does the job great. It's never gone out of fashion. It's never become obsolete. The Phillips screwdriver is still a thing. You screw it, you turn, it does the job. Or you can pick up your Phillips power drill. Done.
I agree.
I would encourage you to think of AI like that. It's just
I'm not opposed to
drill.
it. It's not AI that's my enemy. It's the advancement of technology, which is my enemy. Because, bro, people have stopped thinking, and when your phone becomes brain,
that I agree with. That I completely fucking agree with.
That's the sad bit about it, and that's why I think, again, no matter where your differences are, you're going to have the common ground. That's the thing, that they all think the same essentially. And when I say they, it's nothing about against any kid.
You're talking about the learning language models.
Yeah.
Gemini, ChatGPT, all of that, yeah.
Yeah, but they as in kids. They're at their core, they're thought
Yeah,
process.
And that's where it falls to the parents. There's definitely a danger of them losing any sense of self-identity. If parents are interested, this has got deep. It's a great convo. If parents have any, it's difficult to say, because I was about to say, if parents have aspirations for their kids to hold any type of self-identity, it's something they'll have to nurture, encourage, and foster. But equally, I don't know what the world's going to look like in 5 to 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know if that's going to still become a prerequisite. It might very well be that we're entering the Matrix territory. We all just become batteries and, kind of thoughtless programmable devices whereby we are there to achieve a certain goal. In my case, it's create content for various clients and manage their algorithms and manage their YouTube channels. In your case, it's make sure people are looked after when they go for a good night out in the capital. I don't know how the future looks. That's the part that's scary, is kind of circling around what you're saying. I don't think AI is here to replace us, but I don't know what the world looks like when AI is as prevalent as it is.
Do you know, here's the
I wouldn't say
sad thing.
FAI. I'm definitely not of that boat. I'm
No,
of the
but I
opinion there's the
kind
power
of
to
got it.
us to help.
Look, listen, I get it. It shocked me, but when you look at, I'm not that person. It will never be me. But I was shocked at how the world took to it, and I was like, I think I get it because of the way certain things. I'm not going to overtake.
Not to be rude, plebs who don't realize that they're already using AI. Plebs who don't realize that Apple Pay, which they're using on their iPhones, is a form of AI.
Bro,
I'm
but
sure there's
listen,
an equivalent on Android.
Google in itself has always been AI, even though it's just searching.
You know what I mean? It's like it's
for
such a
you.
small man mentality that fails to see the bigger
But
picture.
it,
But I don't.
you know, with the internet,
with that bigger picture comes a danger.
Look, it's where the internet was previously a tool. The internet is now a way of life. That's the scary
There you
part.
go. You mentioned KSI and Logan Paul. Those guys exist because of the internet.
Of course. We are recording now because we would like
but
to.
Did the world cease to exist? Did Roman Reigns cease to be the tribal chief because Logan Paul became a wrestler? Did Leonardo DiCaprio cease to be a goated actor because of the rise of the internet? There will always be a continuum, the time travel continuum. There will always be the continuum of our established status quo because those are the boundaries that we've set up as human beings. I think it's scary, but I'm not against AI. I'm interested to see how it gets embellished.
Yeah, but no, to go back to your question, I think kids are still the same. Certain things may change it, but at its core, it's like I always say, the weird thing, and
So
I don't.
by that logic, then the Breakfast Club is timeless.
Of course, like it's this weird thing that I always go back to us. Without the internet, how did we all have the same stories? Like, you know, oh, the mayonnaise that wasn't mayonnaise at McDonald's. You've heard Americans say it. We've said it. There was a time when there was a rumor that Kel from Keenan and Kel died in a car accident. Everyone all heard.
I remember that. Yeah,
but like that stuff was going on in America and over here, and it's not like we had a friend in America who would say it, but then you'd hear people who heard the same rumor. How did this stuff? How did these Chinese whispers happen in our generation?
Viral before viral, mate.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just these weird little things of life. And I think it's just the same thing, but in a different format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great episode this has been. We've talked about movies. We've talked about life. We've talked about parenting. We've talked about AI.
Hey, back to school, baby. Just in case anyone was wondering, the horror-esque film that I was bringing up was The Faculty.
I've never seen it.
Have you not? That's a bit of
I've
fun.
never seen The Faculty.
You've seen it once.
I suppose our Rushmore is locked in because we got a joint number one and we got 3 punts. So, ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of school movies in no particular order is
Mean Girls.
Our second entry is
American Pie.
Our third entry is
Coach Carter.
Our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of back to school movies is
the one most set in the school, The Breakfast Club.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
One. Okay, guys. Look, it's been a long one, so let's not do it. Subscribe, like, comment, ring the notification bell. Nico, anything you want to add, feel free.
Yeah, there's it's been a bit slow on the channel in the at the time of recording, end of August. It's been a little bit slow, just life has got in the way. We have got a lot coming on the channel over the course of the coming weeks. Lots of shorts, I've got 4 interviews coming out. So be on the lookout for those. This should be the second Rushmore you're watching in a not too longer period. And of course, we're getting into Oscar season, so be on the lookout for a lot of reviews. I'm going to do what I can to bring you a lot of coverage of the BFI Film Festival. I'm not going to be able to attend it in person this year, but they've given me a digital pass so that I can watch the movies remotely. So I'll do my very best to keep you updated on all the goings on with BFI and the London Film Festival. So keep it right here on the Silver Screen Dudes. Again, it doesn't always have to be big blockbusters. If movies are your jam, whether it be independent, art house, low budget, micro budget, big blockbuster, doesn't matter. This channel is about the support of cinema and keeping the medium of cinema and movies alive. So if movies are your jam, please subscribe to the channel. My name is Nico Lero. He's the one AJ Anthony Jordan. Long love cinema, and we will see you on the next episode next month, which will be live, hopefully. Bye for now.
Bye bye.